Welcome, it's Denome, and welcome to this crypto update. As you can see, Bitcoin is now pushing for all-time highs, and we had a decisive breakout from the previous structure, which I posted on my socials, on my Discord group. You are free to join there, by the way, if you want to. I personally wanted to make a video out of it once the breakout was happening, but I was on a holiday on that time. So sorry for not keeping you guys fully updated, but I had to take a break because of all of the Epstein stuff breaking out, and I wasn't sure if Bitcoin will break out or not. So I decided, okay, I will have a holiday and take it from there. I had a lot of fun, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to make a video out of this. But now the breakout has happened and it is continuing. So most likely we will eventually head higher, but there is some structure that is basically holding us back a little bit, which I will talk about in this video. We will talk about altcoins and the major things coming basically throughout this week. And this week is going to be insane. There's so many events coming up. And let me actually talk to you first about the big event coming up. And that is obviously the WLFI token vote. So the WLFI token is the DeFi project of Donald Trump. 85,000 people participated in the pre-sale here, and now the token will become tradable. Most likely, the vote as it ends on July 16th, it will come tradable either on the same day, the next day, or very shortly afterwards. And I believe this will go live before Friday. And why do I say WLFI trading will go live before Friday? Is because when we take a look at the Trump meme coin token unlocks, you can see 20% of the supply is unlocked, and the next unlock will basically increase the supply by 50%, 45% actually. And this will go live on Friday. So I believe what Trump team wants to do is make WLFI token tradable first, then they release the token unlock as everything is ecstatic on the market. So Friday, expect, I would say you could even expect a dump, but until Friday, I think we are good for more upside, especially on altcoin market. I think the Trump team wants the market to pump. I think the big players want the markets to pump. So the WLFI release will be good for the insiders, as well as the Trump meme coin insiders will be good as well when they finally dump the markets on Friday. That's why I believe these are the two main events for this week. Now, another major thing to look at deciding if a market starts to be too ecstatic is to look at the Google trends for the term Bitcoin and for the term crypto. And as you can see right now, there is still almost no interest on Bitcoin and crypto as of now. So I believe this will go much, much higher as the retail investors come in, for the big players to obviously dump on. But right now we are not in any major scary territory. So if you haven't bought altcoins yet, you still have time, basically the start of this week or maybe the start of next week after the insiders have exited their Trump and WLFI positions. Maybe not even the start of next week, but like a couple of weeks afterwards, after the dust has settled from the initial hype wave that we're currently going to see. And then during this week, I don't think we see much of retail investors here yet. We do see some tourists coming in, but I believe there's going to be a next hype wave after the insiders get their first sales out of the way. So later down September or something like that, August, September, something like that. So anyway, keep these things in mind. Right now, we're not gonna be at the bubble peak, in my opinion, even though markets might take a dump afterwards. Then we have something cooking on the background, which is the resignment of, or the firing of, Jerome Powell. So this is the Office of Management and Budget for the White House. This is their account, and they are now calling for basically the resignment for Jerome Powell. So they are saying that Jerome Powell is wasting too much time, the Federal Reserve building is too, there's been too much renovation here, wasting other people's money here, and just basically just slandering the person left and right. So what I'm looking for is they are looking to fire Jerome Powell, and once they do that, then the markets will go ecstatic because everybody knows that the money printing will go online. And that's why we're seeing the markets already pump in expectation of the oncoming release of the money printer. So Jerome Powell, once he resigns or gets fired, and that's when markets really will kick off. That's what I believe will eventually happen. Right now, this is still speculation, but certainly I see more and more comments for people to basically call for the resignment for Jerome Powell. And then we have the revenge of the tariffs. So we have new countries basically under tariffs. We had Iraq, Libya, Brunei, Algeria, Moldova, Philippines. And sorry, by the way, this list is incomplete. Europe got hit by a 30% tariff, and then Brazil got hit by a 50% tariff. I believe Thailand was there, and some other countries were there as well. So a lot of countries are now back on the tariff lists, but the markets are ignoring this right now. They no longer really care whatever the Trump administration is doing. They are just doing their own thing as of now, basically expecting the money printers to try to fix the problems of the uh, of the balancing the budget. Then Trump again goes online and basically says that he's looking for a 3 point decrease of the interest rates. Basically, he's calling for interest rate control, yield curve control, and all of this is essentially bullish if he gets his way. And I believe that's what he wants to do. He wants to make capital more accessible for investors to basically speculate and create a bubble. That's his plan for now. Let's see if that will play out. But right now, at least this week, this is what markets are betting on based on the movement from Bitcoin. Then we had Michael Saylor basically confirming that he's about to announce a purchase of Bitcoin through MicroStrategy. So I don't know how much he bought last week, but most likely he will announce it in the next 12 to 24 hours. And then MetaPlanet has acquired 800 Bitcoin at $100 million worth of it last week. So that was nice to see as well. I forgot to like this tweet here. And then this is already going into the speculation area, but I will show you some of the ideas that I saw from other people. So I will give them here for you guys to think for yourself. But first comes from Mikey Bull, and he's saying that altcoins are coiling up for a big move. This is the altcoins market cap, and as you can see, we are basically right on top of the support here. And if you saw what Bitcoin basically did from this same structure, it pumped to the upside. So altcoins are basically gearing up for the next move. So that's likely gonna happen. I'm not gonna say it's a 100% guarantee, but it's looking that way. And then total, this is another chart. Basically, you can map out the full altcoin market cap with total one, and this is also looking to break out from the previous structure, just like Bitcoin. And the next move would take the total market cap to about $4.5 trillion. So that could happen, but total one, it also includes Bitcoin. So keep that in mind. I will take a look at the total two soon on the trading view. Then finally, I want to share this idea from Cryptnovo, who I believe is one of the best technical analysts on X platform. Give him a follow if you haven't. He basically shared that this week we will have the Genius Act, there's going to be Clarity Act, and Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act that will likely pass the Congress this week. And all of these are basically just giving clarity for banks for speculation to release capital into the markets. So it's not 100% guarantee that they will pass, but it's likely that they're going to pass. So that's there. But he then shares at the end here, he shares this idea that Bitcoin will likely go to like $121,000 and then consolidate here. And he's looking for wicks to the upside or stop hunts to the upside. And then it's likely that Bitcoin would go back to the 50 EMA level, about $118,000. And from there, he doesn't share any ideas further. But I think this plan here is about what I was also thinking. And I really don't have anything to add here. I think this is basically how it's going to play out. Now, sometimes Cryptnova, he is wrong, but many times he is right. So I'm just going to leave this here for you guys to look at as well. That if Bitcoin goes to about $118,000, then you likely want to have some long orders from there. Now let's take a look at what's going on the fundamental world. And first, let's take a Bitcoin ETFs. So last week, Friday, we saw massive inflows, $1 billion into Bitcoin ETFs. And on Thursday, we saw $1.2 billion worth of inflows into the ETFs. So just a lot of accumulation on the ETF front, which is obviously nice to see. And then hopping over to sentiment, let me actually refresh this so we can take a look at what's going on here. So supply of Bitcoin on exchange reserves still, let me actually refresh it one more time, still going sideways. So as of today, over the weekend, we did not see inflows into Bitcoin exchanges, which is a good sign that people are not ready to basically sell their Bitcoin on masses yet. And then the funding rates are starting to trend to the upside here, but nothing too significant here yet. And then looking at the market cap of stablecoins, we saw quite a lot of stablecoin means last week, almost $2.5 billion, $2.3 billion worth of stablecoin means throughout last week, which is nice to see, also signaling a continuation of this market to the upside. And looking at the old wallets, we're not seeing a lot of profit taking, at least as of now. And today on Monday, once the traditional markets open, we could see some people taking in profits, but most likely I will expect that we will see more inflows into the Bitcoin ETFs. And nothing too interesting at the end here. Then looking at short-term fundamentals, looking at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, let me refresh this page and I will also refresh this data here while I'm at it. Now let's go back here for the liquidation heat map. You can see that most of the liquidation hot zones have now been tagged. We got the $114,000 that I told you guys in my previous update that obviously got tagged, and then we got this formation to the upside here as well tagged. So now all of the liquidations are basically below us. So it doesn't mean that Bitcoin would go to like $103,000 anytime soon. In fact, it's likely that we do not go there in the immediate term. Let me actually get these to a smaller number. I went to the higher number. Let's take 1 week liquidation numbers. So as you can see, most of the liquidations are below the current price ranges. So keep this in mind that the short squeeze that we got on the Bitcoin liquidations, that is basically done now. So it's likely that we get some form of a pullback as people are exiting their positions. The new buyers are not piling in as fast. So it's likely we have that pullback to the downside first before we see a continuation of this move back to the upside. And then looking at the spot order book depth, we are seeing a lot of selling obviously here. So the delta is massively on the negative side. People are still happy to basically sell their Bitcoin at higher prices or at near this current price range, roughly 3% from this current price point, you just see a wall of selling above us, while the limit buy orders are not piling up as fast. This is also giving us basically downward buy pressure in the short term for this week for Bitcoin. Now, altcoins obviously do not have this same thing here. So if we see a pullback on Bitcoin, I don't think altcoins necessarily go down with it. I think the money is rotating away from Bitcoin into altcoins this week. And once the WLFI token is released, and once the Trump meme coin tokens, once the unlock actually happens, that's when I think altcoins will go down again, and then Bitcoin will push upwards again. So taking all of this into consideration, just this week, I think Bitcoin might actually go sideways here until basically, uh, actually it could, yeah, sideways, and then we have that wick to the downside to $118,000. It could go a little bit lower to $115,000 to take out all of those long liquidations, and then next week basically we push back to the upside, or this could happen even midweek here. And while this is happening, I believe that altcoins will catch up. So let's take a look at the total two here, which basically takes all of altcoins, excluding Bitcoin and stable coins, obviously. And when we take a look at this, you can see that we are basically breaking out of this previous structure completely. Looks like I had some meme idea here before. I think I posted it as a meme on Telegram or one of my old groups. But anyway, this has broken out of this structure completely, and now is basically looking to go to basically this previous all-time high here, $1.6 trillion. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Maybe it goes like this, something like that. So this week we go up, and once the WLFI releases, obviously it's gonna spike this to the upside, and then we will have that pullback once the people are selling their tokens and basically rotating back to Bitcoin. So that something like this is currently my idea. I'm longing altcoins. Now I could obviously be completely wrong here, but in my opinion, altcoins are basically the play this week, and Bitcoin basically not that interesting this week. But next week, once we have that, once altcoins have had like a 50%, 30%, 40% moves, then I believe Bitcoin will be interesting after that again. So consider or get ready to basically rotate some of your capital back to Bitcoin. And overall, in the long term, what I'm basically looking for on Bitcoin, and there's a couple of interesting lines here that, in my opinion, are one of the most important ones. This here, this is basically showing that Bitcoin likes to go to about $150,000 in the short term, basically before September or before October. So $150,000, and then in the immediate term, I showed this on another video, but there's basically this hot zone, this Fibonacci extension for Bitcoin at about $130,000. So I think $130,000 first, then we might have a little bit deeper pullback on Bitcoin, and then we continue to 150, 160K, somewhere there. And then I don't have other ideas beyond that at this stage. Obviously, Bitcoin could break through this structure, and then we go for that parabolic end of the market move, but I don't have that idea yet, so I'm not comfortable talking about that much yet. So overall, we're still looking for more upside here, even though this week Bitcoin might go down. I believe altcoins will go even higher this week, and there's plenty of altcoins to look at. First off, people were talking about some meme coins. Obviously, Sui, this is a basically a revolutionary layer 1 protocol. It's now at this resistance level, so I'm not comfortable buying Sui as of now. I'm looking for Obviously, LDO, which I've been talking about, I still think it's massively, massively undervalued. This is basically uh, ETF ready protocol. I don't know why it's not really included in ETFs or institutional investments, but this is the protocol that handles most of the liquid staked Ethereum. And right now, the price is basically breaking out of this short term move here, and there's just so much upside here, in my opinion, on this chart to the upside, that it's likely that we will see some rockets on LDO. So that's why I'm heavily invested in that. The fundamentals, in my opinion, are good. So that's why LDO is one of the best ones. And then obviously, which I've shared plenty of times in the past, but TRX, simply because most of the stablecoins are on running on Tron network, and they have a partnership with the WLFI, and the USD1 token from the WLFI protocol is running on Tron network. They recently had a partnership with Binance Alpha, so the new tokens that are on the what's it called, the not the airdrop platform, but the like an acceleration program for Binance, they are published on the Tron network as well as part of this partnership. I think Tron network is will go multiples to the upside as well. So for Tron, I'm basically looking for $0.9 here, just a short or from $1. That's basically my idea for Tron. Now you could invest in many different altcoins. There's a lot of hot altcoins that I'm not even talking about on this channel, mostly because I'm not following the most recent updates of every single project out there. I know Say is another revolutionary L1 layer coin, but this is also basically running into this resistance soon, so I'm not 100% comfortable with this either. So that's why Sui and Say is not something that I'm currently that interested in. Now you could invest in some meme coins, obviously, if you think that uh, the retail investors are coming. This is basically also running into that resistance soon. It broke out of this short-term trend not too long ago, so not exactly that interesting for Doge. Trump, I would not buy. Maybe you can make a short bet this week, because you could expect that they pump the token first. They try to pump the token first before the unlocks, and right at the day of the unlocks, I expect the market to actually crash, or the day after. So be careful if you invest in the Trump meme coin. And especially with the Epstein files, Trump's name is not exactly that hot as of now. So not perfect, not exactly perfect. Ethereum also, I'm a little bit afraid because of this structure here on the logarithmic view, basically touching the top of this channel here. But at the same time, looking at the RSI, we do have an RSI breakout to the upside here. So it could actually break out of this, but I would be a little bit careful investing directly into Ethereum. I think more likely LDO is going to catch up to Ethereum. So LDO, in my opinion, seems much better. But LDO has been a little bit lackluster for me, so I could be wrong here once again. It's not as easy to um, predict which altcoins will exactly pump. Then we have the index token. This is another investor ready altcoin. It's basically trying to break out of this structure here, and there's lots of multiples to the upside here on this chart. So this could be nice index cooperative token as well. Just a lot of altcoins on the market, obviously. So hard to say which ones will perform the best. If you have ideas, give them in the comments. I will take a look at it. I will definitely make a more comprehensive altcoin videos in the future, as the bull market is now heating up. I didn't see that as necessary before this moment, but now that Bitcoin is breaking to the upside, and we potentially have a lot of money flowing into risky assets from Jerome Powell resigning or forced out of office. I believe altcoins will have their time to shine soon. So that's basically the update today. Now, if you want to get started, if you want to long, if you want to short altcoins, buy them on the spot markets, consider using the links in my description. There's a lot of different welcome rewards up for grabs on different exchanges for Femex.com, for Bybit.com, for many other platforms as well. So I will highly appreciate if you can use my affiliate codes for those. And there's codes for crypto.com, for example, if you are looking to get cash back on purchases and acquire some cryptos as rewards, you can sign up for that as well on the description. Anyway, that's it for the video. I hope you got some value out of it, and I will see you at higher prices. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.